So when you hear somebody say staying awake or getting up, what's the first thing that you think of? Most people think about getting out of bed in the morning or that first cup of coffee. According to a study done by Berman, 90% of adults consume caffeine on a daily basis of about 200 milligrams a day. Caffeine is found in various foods that we eat and drink, and also some medications. Consumption levels, if not carefully monitored, can cause issues for health. So what is caffeine? Caffeine is a central nervous system stimulant and a diuretic that is used worldwide. It is found in coffee, tea, soda, energy drinks, chocolate, dietary supplements, and powder form. It is so readily available and used because it's cheap, and it's everywhere. It can be found in your gas stations, in stores, vending machines everywhere. So I set up a few items here that are commonly used, and you can see how much caffeine is in each thing. For instance, Pepsi has 209 milligrams of caffeine in that whole 2 liter, which would be about your daily consumption level. And then the other things, 8 ounces of coffee is 95 milligrams of caffeine. So how does caffeine work? Well, according to the Psychopharmacology magazine, small doses can increase alertness by increasing heart rate and blood pressure. The positive aspects of using caffeine is it lowers your risk of cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and increases your metabolic rate in your body. But on the negative side, it can cause addiction, increase vasoconstriction, increase blood pressure, and decrease control of fine and motor movement. If you've had too much caffeine, we know that we can get kind of jittery, and that's what happens. And it also causes increased urination. Caffeine, the safe and the dangerous levels of caffeine. A low level would be 100 milligrams a day. Moderate is where most people who do consume caffeine fall, is about 300 milligrams a day, and high is about 500, and extreme is greater than 600. So the risks of caffeine consumption by level is published by the Mayo Clinic. A safe level is around 400, so you're between here, with a toxic level of 10,000 milligrams or higher, which can result in death. For adolescents, less than 100 milligrams a day, so all that Mountain Dew that these teenagers like to consume is not really good for them. And also, restricting it in children is also important. Dr. Leanne Chrisman had done a study on individuals of varying ages and found that a toxic level for a child is about 3,000 milligrams a day. So it's not much if you think about it in terms of soda. So if they had, say 3 2-liters, it could kill them. Another form of caffeine besides the ones that are here is caffeine powder. Caffeine powder comes in powder form or tablets. It's available by supplements and like health food stores. It's also available, you can buy it on the internet, an internet search, and you can buy it for as little as $5 to $10 for 100 tablets. It's very popular amongst people who use a routine for like working out and things like that. The other number one buyer of caffeine powder is the Coca-Cola company. Coca-Cola uses the caffeine powder to make their product. It should, as I said, be monitored by the FDA, but at this point they have not, because 1 tablespoon of caffeine powder equals 3,200 milligrams of caffeine. So if that's not carefully monitored, that small child who got their hands on that powder could be dead like that. The New York Times had published this information in an article, caffeine powder poses deadly risk, and they were hoping to get some more, attention by it, but it's not yet. So in talking about caffeine powder and how easily it is to get a hold of it, it can lead to caffeine overdose. Caffeine overdose causes visual changes, rapid heart rate, an irregular rhythm, could cause ringing in the ears, gastric symptoms, abdominal pain, nausea, vomiting. There could be an increased sensitivity to pain. Central nervous system can cause irritability, anxiety. The muscular aspects could be seizures in the most severe cases. and systematically it could lead to dehydration and fever as some of the first symptoms. So this is something that could be probably misconstrued for something else if somebody comes into an ER or something with these symptoms. I like this one. It kind of shows the caffeine withdrawal. The other side of this, those who don't get the caffeine, the 7 doors. You got dopey, sleepy, grouchy, grumpy, foggy, foolish, and achy. Those would be your top symptoms to look for withdrawal. And caffeine withdrawal usually occurs 12 to 24 hours after the last consumption of caffeine. So I have discussed the effects caffeine has on the body. So remember, it's important not to only consume caffeine because it could be detrimental to your health. The next time you reach for that extra cup of coffee, remember that it's just more than waking you up.